Every visionary has a story to tell. These stories educate and inspire us all.
You could hear them cranking up in the morning and hear the click, click, click of the roller coaster.
It's really feeling satisfied and feeling gratified with bringing happiness to young children, especially families.
Working with people who are having a good time is so much better than any other job.
Join us as we learn from these trailblazers.
Over 20 years ago, I was farming sugarcane. I was in agribusiness. I was planting rice and driving tractors. But the land that we used to till then became very expensive real estate. Expensive to the point that we decided to joint venture it with a real estate development company. Then, with the little capital that we were able to collect, we said, what will we do next? Aside from real estate, we thought of alternatives. Retail would have been one, but we felt we wanted to be pioneering. We were just starting our families then, and we enjoyed going to seasonal amusement parks and family entertainment centers in the malls. But there was no real themed amusement park in the Philippines. And during the early 90s, we saw this as an opportunity for something that could maybe be popular with the people. Other than enjoy and have fun and take the different rides and attractions, play the games and eat the hot dogs and the pizzas, we didn't know anything about running a park. But it was something that we felt had an opportunity in our country way back in 1992. But we didn't know where to start until someone showed us a brochure about an amusement show in Hong Kong and had the logo of IAAPA. And the rest, they say, is history. We attended our first IAAPA trade show and convention in Dallas in 1992. And on the way to Dallas, we also visited places like Knott's Camp Snoopy, up at the Mall of America, and also, of course, Disneyland and Knott's Berry Farm. Once we were at the trade show, we were overwhelmed by the enormity of the show itself and the variety of the things that you could see inside. There we discovered that it could be a real good source for not only the rides and attractions, but also, more importantly, for our consultants and our designers. So that got us into the business. And after breaking ground in August of 1994, we opened to the public on October 19, 1995. Of course, when we said, let's go into this industry, and the natural reaction would be, let's write Disney, let's write Six Flags, let's write all of them. Of course, no one replied because they didn't think we were serious. But we got one reply from Knott's Berry Farm, which in those years was still owned by the Knott family and was being run by a very good friend, someone who became a very good friend, Terry Van Gorder. We visited Knott's Berry Farm and talked to them about having a park in the Philippines. And it was also at that time that they were looking at overseas expansion to Japan and also to Mexico. When we brought them around like a cultural park that showed the different architectures and culture of the Philippines, their designer was immediately very excited about the Philippine designs. So he already drew a front gate design that looked like this old nipa and ancient huts and showed it to us. But at that time, as you were asking, we wanted to create something that was more of an escape. We wanted something to be different, not only in scale and theming, but more importantly is when my countrymen would go there, it seemed that they would be in another world, not the everyday world that they see in their backyards. Past Chairman Bob Masterson approaches me and says, do you think you can be chairman of IAAPA? I said, chairman of the Asian Committee? No, of the IAAPA. And then I said, if I'm given the opportunity, why not? But I'm not doing it just for myself. I just want to see if I can do it. And so it was the last day of filing for the application, and that was when I filled up my application form right there in KL, submitted it to Susan Mosdale, and then after that, waited. And I said, can we do the final interview in Washington? Because the show then was in Rome. And they said, no, it has to be in Rome in conjunction with the board meeting and the European show. So I literally had to fly to Rome just for a day for a 40-minute interview. But it was very symbolic because the board meeting and the interview was done in a hotel where I first stayed in Rome when I was a small boy in 1968. So it was in the same hotel, and I had images of my parents when we were there for the first time. It was overlooking the Vatican. So I went through the process, 40-minute interview. Then before I went to bed, because I was going home the next day, about 10 p.m., the phone rings, and the chairman of the nominating or governance committee, Mats Vedin, calls, and he said, are you asleep? I said, what do you think? And he says, I just wanted to bring you the good news. So that started me off on my journey of being an officer of IAAPA and ultimately chairman for this year. And the first thing I did then was to look out the window at the Vatican and give a prayer of thanks, because whatever happened, I offered it up. And then I went home the following day, straight into the arms of my family, because the reason why I stayed only for a day was it fell smack in the middle of a family vacation in Hong Kong. Since the real growth of the industry nowadays is in the Asian region, it's different when you can really attach someone from the region. And I know that the association have tried before to go into the region, maybe Asia or Europe, or especially in Asia, China, and there have been difficulties. But somehow, ever since the association was able to elect an Asian officer, me, we've been able to make great inroads into China. And just this morning, I was happy to receive a group of about 30 Japanese businessmen who have been brought here by SNS Sansei and have shown interest to become part of IAAPA once again, or to be part of IAAPA. But I saw that when we talked to them about what IAAPA is, they thought IAAPA was just a trade show. But when we said that there is education, certification, etc., they became interested. When I go around Enchanted Kingdom or any other park, I am very happy to see smiling faces, the sound of laughter, families being together and seeing happiness in their faces, because I know that memories are created, memories that last a lifetime and are passed on from generation to generation.